Well, hello again, friends and fans. Raptor here. Welcome to more Wargame Airland battle. This time, it's Raptor versus the computer. It's armored combat training available now under solo. If you go to tutorials, I'm actually going to play through some of these tutorials, and let's consider these the ultra noob tutorials, the UNTs. So, I'm going to if you are new to this game, I'm going to try to train you to the best of my ability, so let's get right into it. Armored Combat Training. Location, Yakima Training Center, Fort Lewis, Washington. Date, February 21st, 1985. In this exercise, the blue force will engage the red hostile force in real combat situation. Your blue force has an entire section comprising 4 of the latest M1A1 Abrams tanks that can outperform anything the enemy sends against you. The red force you have to engage in this mission comprises an intermediate number of T-62 Model 75 and T-72A tanks. There is a FOB, or Forward Operating Base, containing fresh supplies of ammunition, fuel, and spare parts in the axis of your offensive that could serve to facilitate the advance of the tanks. The blue and red forces are authorized to call for reinforcements. The objective is to destroy the command vehicle of the red force in Bravo sector. Okay, so after that lengthy discussion, we're going to kind of get a little briefing here, which will kind of show us what we can do. For now, I guess I can just start by saying welcome to Airland Battle. This is how every multiplayer match will start, where you get a few grids to move into. There should be a command vehicle set up and a FOB, however they will both be in the square. Now the squares will always be of different size, and they might not be, they will not be parallel, they will not be square, they'll be all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Some of them will or will not have the arrows, and some of them will even have a smaller blue or rather red, or depending on what side you're playing, as arrow that you will bring in your reinforcements with. Up here on the left side, this is the production menu, and this is where you'll buy your units. As you can see, we have 16 rookie M1A1 Abrams tanks available to us, and there's all the stats for those units. I'm not going to go over the units yet, but I'm just going to show you how to do the tutorial. So basically, we're going to click Launch Battle, and this will tell us that the allies are displayed in green, and we do not control that unit. We must find the command unit that is up here in Bravo. By the way, you can use WASD to control your tanks, and your tanks are displayed in blue and are awaiting your orders. So to select these tanks, all you got to do is hold left, and it'll tell you what they're, if they're calm, it'll tell you the last names of the troops, and it even shows their ranks and ammunition down there below. Once you let go, they get selected, and if you click to move fast, as you can see there, the option said the unit will travel as fast as possible to the destination using roads if there are any. So we're going to move to the intersection here and try to engage the Soviets up here, or the quote-unquote Soviets, the OP-4, and the tanks will move into a formation to travel on the highway. They'll kind of push each other around a little bit to get it done. Keep in mind this is a beta, so in the future they may be a little less pushy. But let's look at these units and look at the beautiful backgrounds here. Obviously this is Scandinavia, but they're saying Washington to try to, so they don't have to change the backdrop. And of course, here's the FOB. If you stop anywhere within the FOB, your units will be refueled and resupplied. They have an operational circle there, and if you stop anywhere in there, that's where it'll be effective. So let's move up to the intersection. And again, mouse wheel zooms in and out. Wherever you put your mouse cursor, that's where it'll zoom. Left and right kind of functions, and also you can hold middle mouse button to rotate and also to tilt when you get a little closer. Minute and 21 seconds. Looks like we already have Soviet forces approaching us. So what I'm going to do now is click on Display Formations. That will allow us to split our vehicles. The Abrams are already beginning to fire. One T-62 already hit. I'm going to actually split these units up now to engage 2 on the left side and 2 on the right side. That will help them to engage a wider range of vehicles. As you can see, the T-62s are already on fire, or under fire. Let's take a look at them now. One T-62 hit there. That's really cool noises. Here comes the last one. It's going to die. There it goes. Okay, we do have T-72As coming up now. Let's take a look at these units. Abrams will move up on them. Ooh, those are good hits. Let's make sure they engage. Here comes our tanks now, ready to engage. And they have good stabilizers, so they'll continue to fire on the move, as where these T-72s may not. And they're also stationary. Both T-72s or T-72As rather are destroyed. 62 75s and 72As approaching from the left side, so we'll keep up the fire on them. And our units, by the way, the more they get fired at, the more they will be panicked. Soviet rounds, even though they might not hit, will still panic your vehicles. So after they come under intense fire for a long amount of time, or if a unit gets hit, and even though it's not destroyed, if it's heavily damaged, that will panic the crew, and they'll be less likely to hit their target. They'll be slower at loading, and eventually they'll rout if you don't get them out of there. This unit was that little thing you just saw pop up over on the right side, means the unit is now trained and is more skilled at hitting enemy units. We now have 14 out of 25 ammunition on most of our tanks, so what we'll do is we'll stay off the highway and have our tanks continue to engage. Next up is T-62s. I wouldn't reload until we get down to about 8 rounds, so we can still cause some pain to the Soviets. Tanks are still ready to fire. They're hitting their targets because they have excellent stabilizers. If you want to see a unit's capabilities, just press I on top of the unit or with the unit selected, and you can see what it can do. Of course, at the bottom you can see stabilizer is very good, and the year it was built was 1985, etc., etc. We will now continue to engage these units, and we will actually turn our tanks now so they face the enemy by clicking so they turn just a little bit like that, so the front armor is hit by the T-72s rather than the side armor, which would cause a lot more damage. This is the enemy command unit. As you can see, one of our units was hit. Let's see which one it may have been. As you can see, this unit is now shaken down here in the lower left-hand corner, and we just destroyed the command unit that was in the rear. They automatically targeted it, and we also kept our command unit alive in the rear. Very good. You passed the test and have been chosen for the next stage of the qualification process. Now go. Victory! Spelt in French, so very cool. So we'll click OK on this. We'll go to the next mission then, which is Joint RECE, which should be Recon. Joint Recon and Armored Training Exercise. Some of these are placeholders that are in French, so if you're watching this a month or two after the game came out, and you can see the live chat on the right side. But anyway, let's go into the next mission. This will teach us how to combine tank and recon forces. Location, Yakima Training Center, Fort Lewis, Washington. Date, February 22nd, 1985. This is an exercise. The blue force will engage the red hostile force in a real combat situation. The red force comprising of indeterminate number of T-62Is, Model 75 and T-72A tanks. They have been deployed to launch ambushes in the Bravo and Alpha Charlie sectors. The blue force has a recon unit backed up by an entire section of 4 M1A1 Abrams. There is a FOB, or forward operating base, in the axis of your offensive, containing fresh supplies, ammunition, and fuel spare parts that could be used to facilitate the advance of the tanks. The blue and red forces are authorized to call in reinforcements. Objective is to destroy all command vehicles that red owns in Bravo. So let's get it done. We have our M1A1s again, and we also have our F.A.Q, which is basically a command jeep with a machine gun on the back of it and a driver. We'll try to zoom in on that a little better here. There you are. And you can see the little basket to capture the ammunition. They turn on their own, but there may be men added to these vehicles in the future. So let's launch the battle. There's nothing we can do other than just have our units. Alright, so if we advance on these forests here without recon, we're probably going to get hit before we see them. They'll see us. So let's move fast with our tanks and our F.A.Q. And this is a recon unit used to provide a good line of sight for the Abrams. Select units and press I to display its detailed info, as I told you before. I would rather actually, I wish I could just hit Tab and have that display their specs, but I guess this is just as good. Alright, so we have our F.A.Q now moving up. Our favorite. This is our fave, baby. And it looks like they have Charlie. T-72 is now spotted. We don't need to move up any closer to those now that we can see them. And we'll actually have our Abrams now split up to engage those. Wherever you click, by the way, they will move towards where you... oh, I guess they won't. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to split these groups of Abrams up into 2 battle groups. I will show you how to do that now. This is a little advanced tip here. Watch as Raptor does this. If you select these units and go back to where it says display formations, we can actually have these units regroup, and they'll become a battle group. They will stop, though, when you click that, it seems. So that's unfortunate. But we'll have 2 of these groups move in. One on the north end of the highway, one on the south end of the highway. As you can see, it's basically a huge battlefield here, meant specifically for tank operations, as it's made out of all dirt. We don't want to get too close to the right side, though. You can rest assured that the Soviets have some ambushes prepared there, and probably up here as well, but we'll go down the main highway and deal with the main bulk of the force. We may have to come back to our FOB also in Delta to deal with any enemy forces that have damaged us, to also refuel and to get ammunition. Our Abrams there are within a good range of killing those T-72s, so we'll just go ahead and unload on them. And it says here, forests offer great cover to height units. Both of those units now have been destroyed, so we'll bring up our favorite our FAV up to the intersection to see what he can see, and as you can see, this unit moves very fast. This can move 70 kilometers an hour, as where the Abrams tanks only move 60, so you can keep your FAV a little bit ahead. Oh, as you can see, a command unit was spotted, and the Abrams were able to destroy that they couldn't see before. There's also T-72As that are getting ready to fire at our recon there that is now panicked because of all that fire he took. I'd be scared as well. We're going to bring up the Abrams to deal with those tanks. They should be able to fire right from there. And look at that, 60 points. Fantastic. Another kill, and one more kill should come in just a moment. And there you go. So we're going to move our FAV up again. He may be a little panicked, but he can calm down over the next few seconds. And there's another T-72. And we're going to move him up just to see if we can see any more. We're going to move up again. We're going to keep the recon in the middle, have 2 M1 Abrams on the left and 2 on the right to defend the recon. Recon will take the road to get the most out of his speed. T-72s are engaging the recon. Recon is doing pretty good, though. That shouldn't have affected him too much. And it looks like both tanks were able to destroy the final tank left in Charlie. We're now going to hide our recon. Notice how my cursor goes from a gray color to blue? Blue means that you're entering heavier, ooh, looks like we're getting shot at. Oh, come on, boy. Gotta reverse. Oh, and he's dead. Unfortunately, they did get our recon units. We'll call out another one. And I actually see that we do get access to, do we get more tanks? Yes, we do. And we also get a couple of HEMETs. So what I'm actually going to do is call out more tanks and a couple of HEMETs as well. And this should finish, this should finish off our thing very good. HEMETs under logistics or log are supply units. Recon is the FAV, and TNK tanks are our Abrams. The T-62s and T-72s should advance until they're all dead, so this won't be too much of a problem. Wow, look at that. Very good kills. The FAVs then will arrive on that little reinforcement line where the arrow is. Here comes our FAVs, our M1A1 Abrams, and our HEMETs. Hopefully this FAV gets here soon enough and we can advance. Tanks really only needing ammunition. This one's down to half. This one's down to just over half. Good fuel. A little more than half. Half and half is good. Anything, I'd say a fourth or less, you'll want to start probably reloading unless it's ATGMs, but we'll get into that a little later. T-72As are now parked here in Alpha and Bravo. Also have units in them, rest assured. We're going to stop our Abrams here so the T-72s and other weapons don't fire. I'll guarantee you there's some units hidden in those woods there and in the hedgerows and whatnot. Abrams will be able to fire, though it is within range, and the FAV should come up and spot anything else for us. We'll bring up our other Abrams and we'll bring up the FAV. BRDM-2, that is an enemy recon unit that was destroyed. It was an armored unit as well, but now it's just a fireball on the highway, baby. Hey, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're a noob, I'm trying to teach you the best I can, the basics of the game. Again, right-clicking when you see that number there, by the way, is the range to target, 1,532 there, and you can see this weapon's range is actually 2,275. They really do not like our recon units. They've killed 2 of them now, and I'm actually just going to call in 3 now very quick to kind of take care of any extras that we lose. They're very good at killing those, aren't it? And recon is something you'll want to attack first, especially if Abrams are attacking you. Go for the recon and try to blind them. Weapons are now jammed on the T-72s. Let's see how things are from the enemy's point of view. Probably not very good. They're all dying. And they all just exploded. Wow. Oh, there's one left. He'll be dead in a second. There he goes. Plow. Nice. Okay, so we've got a few more units remaining in the rear. We're going to wait until the HEMETs come up and resupply these units on the main highway. And we'll wait for these recon units. Should be here any moment. By the way, firing computer reset. Our Abrams have been hit in a critical zone. That means the firing computer has to be reset on one of these Abrams, which means it cannot fire as accurately or as fast or at all. You'll see other things happen, like vehicles will be detracked or will run out of fuel or will have their optical sights damaged so they won't be able to target things. So keep an eye out for that. HEMETs will probably be completely used up here by the refueling of the Abrams and also the repair and also any ammunition. Our other Abrams that are arriving now haven't fired anything, so they're just going to top off the gas tank. And our FAVs are also here. Now it's time for the final assault on both Bravo and Alpha. We're going to spread out our FAVs. We're going to actually assign one recon. Hold on a second. T-72s are going to try to flank. Looks like they're attacking, so we're going to go right, center, and left with FAVs, and right, center, and left with tanks. Hemmets will keep in the rear. We won't need those anymore. All tanks are now set up in groups of 2, working with 1 FAV. Tanks cannot be assigned to recon units. Only likewise units can be assigned. Here we go. Looks like we've got the Soviets now attacking, aka the Op-4. Firing computer reset on one of the T-72As. It's going to take them a long time to reset until that firing computer is complete. And the only thing that's complete now is his job. He is now dead. BRDM-2 is going to give the enemy a good line of sight. Abrams should target that first, which it will. And FAVs are advancing as well. Here comes the tanks. It looks like T-72As are now hiding in the forest here. They may launch an attack, but not very likely. We can bring up more tanks to guard our left flank if we need to. And looks like we don't have enough points, so we'll wait until we get 2. I don't think they've killed anything. Oh, they did kill a recon again, didn't they? Oh, they did! They keep killing those recons, boy. They're very good at that. That's why we brought in more. It's good to keep them hidden at all times, but against this number of tanks, it's kind of hard to hide them when you're advancing with force. T-72As are hitting our Abrams in the side, but they should be finished off no problem. We'll have our 2 remaining Abrams join the 2 that are parked on the highway. FAV will come up and he should be hidden now, and we'll launch our final attack on Bravo. This should be the end of the mission and the end of the video, and we'll move on to the other tactics a little later. I am enjoying this tutorial, though, by the way. It's pretty self-explanatory and pretty detailed on kind of what it tells you. Even though it doesn't tell you much, it does tell you the basics of the game. And the rest of it you'll have to learn by watching yours truly's videos and playing against other people in multiplayer. So be sure to do that. Check out those other videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe again. Our 2 Abrams here will be able to hold no problem against the T-62s and T-72s that are advancing. Here's the T-62s moving very awfully slow. They're just very, very slow units. Alright, and the Abrams are now advancing on the T-72s. One Abrams is panicked because of lack of recon. They weren't able to get that early hit, so that just goes to show that recon is very important. However, we do have the advantage with tanks. That's not everything, especially when they're panicked. Again, you always want to engage in groups unless you've got something like a Challenger, engaging nothing but a group of infantry, especially if it's just like hamlets or something, and you have a T-80U. Okay, so now it's time to find that command unit, and we are out of here, baby. Raptor's going to go have some foods because he deserved it. BRDM-2 is coming up, but unfortunately that's the end of the command unit for them. Bravo, Alpha, and Charlie have all been cleared, and we destroyed all enemy command units. We didn't lose our FOB or our command vehicle. Our performance has made the grade. We can now progress to the next qualification. So, until next time, friends and fans, this is your Tutor Raptor saying victory, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Don't forget your books. No running. Wait, I should say Moscow, Moscow. Hello once again, friends and fans. Raptor here. Welcome to the new map, baby, on Wargame Airland Battle. We've got 3 new, just gorgeous maps to